Okay, today we're going to run through a quick demo of Let's Camp. First, we're going to go through a quick guest experience to show how the booking process works from a guest perspective. Then we're going to jump into the admin portal to show you how everything looks and works for a campground administrator. This is going to be a quick overview demo. Happy to schedule something with you as well if you would like to get into more details or have questions about what you see here today. So the screen you see here is a campground landing page. So every campground that gets set up with Let's Camp gets a landing page like this where they can highlight pictures of their park at the top. There'll be a section for a description. They can post season and booking dates. So if they have dates for next season set up and booking times, those would be displayed to the camper. Links to your contact information and website. We also help campgrounds manage events. So if you have any events happening, you can list them on your profile page. And if you're taking registration for those events, we can help with that as well. So if you want to sell tickets, guests can purchase those through Let's Camp, add them to their cart, and check them out with their booking. So also on this profile page is a list of all your amenities, check-in and check-out times, refund policies, a list of nearby attractions. So here you can highlight things people can do in the area while they're camping. Guests will be able to see your phone number and have a contact form to reach out to you, as well as get directions to your park. The booking process starts on the form on the left side here, so guests will be able to choose how they're camping. So this list is only going to show what you actually have available at your park. Our demo campground here has just everything available just for demo purposes. So you can see you can book RV sites, tent sites, lodging, parking spots, moorage if you have a marina, a rental RV, or others. Others typically would be like a rental hall, maybe a kitchen, anything like that. So let's just book an RV site here. When you choose that, the guests will have to enter the length of their RV, the dates that they want to camp, number of vehicles. This is an optional field. Some campgrounds do require this, some don't. So if you don't, this field would not appear there. And then the number of guests in your party. So let's just say there's a family of 4 booking. It'll immediately let the guest know there's something available. If you have promo codes, guests will be able to apply them here. And then you can click search now. So on the search page, guests will be taken to an interactive map of your campground. This is the map that we create for you when you get set up with Let's Camp. There's no setup fees and no charge for us to create this for you. So on this map, you can see there's different colored sites. The white sites are unavailable. That will be highlighted when you hover over them. And the blue sites are the ones that are available. So these are the ones that match the search. So down the left is all the search fields that we entered. If a guest is looking for specific services, maybe like water and sewer, as they highlight those, you can see the map changes and only highlights what's the sites that are available that have those services. Let's go ahead and click on site 5 here. Each site you'll be able to upload pictures of, so guests will be able to see what it looks like. You can add description, obviously all the amenities on the site, and it's going to show them the pricing and the total cost based on what they're searching for. If they like this, they can click add to cart. Guests can also book more than one site at one time. So if they want to book another site, they can click on it and book it. So oftentimes people are camping with their friends and family and want to book more than one site at one time. So we make that super easy for campers to do. So you can see now we have 2 cart sites in our cart. And once we're ready to check out, we can do that by clicking the checkout button at the top here. On the cart page, we'll list all the sites you have in your cart, a breakdown of all the fees. Once a camper is ready to check out, they can click this proceed to checkout button. Checkout page is typically 3 simple steps. First step is filling out guest information. I'm a logged in user, so it pre-fills in my details here. If I was a new user, I'd be asked to create an account and enter these details for the first time. Because we require vehicle information, this campground wants to know the license plate number of each vehicle on each site. So we're going to answer that question here. Step 2 is choosing add-ons. So you have the ability to sell items to your guests before they arrive. So if you have firewood or any other items that you had for sale, You can have them as add-ons, and again, you would have to choose add-ons for each site. So we can choose to purchase firewood for each site or just one site and not the other. As you choose add-ons, you will see on the right side here, your total automatically updates. So there's a running summary here. This is a desktop view, so guests will be able to see kind of what their total is for each site and the grand total for all of their bookings. Step 3 is just collecting payment details. Again, I'm a logged in user, so I can use my stored payment method. If I was a new user, I'd have to fill in my guest credit card details here. And every guest will have to read and agree to your campground's terms and conditions, as well as your campground's cancellation and refund rules. So there's a spot in the back end where you can set your terms and conditions and campground rules, as well as your policies and refund rules. And guests won't be able to pay unless they've read and agreed. Obviously, we want them to know all the rules before they book. So let's go ahead and click pay. If everything processes successfully, guests will be taken to a thank you page that will just summarize the details of their bookings here. They're also going to get emailed a confirmation email that will include their receipt. So they'll have all of their booking details in their inbox immediately after booking. Our software also sends out 2 other automatic emails. One is a reminder email 7 nights before your stay. We understand guests lose that initial email because they might be booking months in advance, so we want to remind them of their upcoming stay. We also send out a thank you email on the day of their checkout. All of these emails can be customized so you can add your own messaging to them. The thank you email is one that most campgrounds customize. They add their own custom thank you message and often a link to maybe a feedback survey or asking their camper to review them on Google or something like that. So that's the guest experience. We make it super simple for guests to quickly book. As you can see, we're only in a few minutes here and we have booked a couple campsites. So let's jump over now to the admin portal. So this is the screen that you're going to see when you first log in as a campground staff. So on your dashboard is going to be what we call the availability calendar. This is a grid view of all of your sites and dates, and you'll be able to quickly see who's in what site for what dates. So sites are listed down the left, dates along the top, and you can see, the names of each people booked into each site, as well as any blocked or hold sites here. Along the top, you can filter this list if you're looking for only specific sites, specific services, you can do that here. Also on the map here, you can double click on a site to see the details about it, open it up to see further details or make changes to it. But you can also make changes to a booking right on this grid. So once you click on a booking, you'll be able to drag and drop them into a different spot. So if they wanted to come earlier or later, you could do that. Or if they showed up and wanted to be in a different site, you can just drag and drop them into that spot. It will confirm that you do want to make that change. If you don't want to send them the edit email, you can skip that. Once you click yes, it will make that change. And if you didn't check off the skip email option, the guest will get a new email saying that they're in that site. Underneath availability calendar, here's a list of check-ins and checkouts for the day. Obviously, we don't have any today. This is just our demo, but we can jump to a day that might have some. You can see this is what this list is going to look like on a regular basis for you. So you'll be able to see which guests are coming into which sites, when they're leaving, if they've purchased any add-ons, and if they have any amounts due. On the day of check-in, there'll also be a check-in button here that you'll be able to click to mark them as arrived. And the checkout list will be the same. There'll be a checkout button to check out anybody who has left. Not all campgrounds track who's in and out, but if you do that, we make that super simple for you to do. Also, we have this handy little download button here. This will download a PDF version of all your check-ins and checkouts. So you can print this and give that to your maintenance team so they know which sites to clean up today. So down the left is your main menu. The first tab here is your bookings tab. This is a list view of all the bookings in your system. So different from the grid, we give you the option to see a list And then here we give you some search options. So if you're looking for a booking for a specific guest name, you can enter their name here. And to find their booking, you can search by site number. So if you're looking for a specific booking in a specific site and you don't have their name, you could do that here as well. When you find a booking, you can click on that, and then you can see all the details here. So we kind of break this down by kind of just like the booking details, the guest information, their vehicle information, if they've purchased add-ons, transaction breakdown. You'll have all options on this page. So if you need to edit the booking, so if you're extending the stay, you can click here, change the dates, change the site number, anything like that within here. If there is a price change, it will tell you, and you'll be able to save and collect payment on it. We also keep track of all changes made to booking. So you can click the view logs button. If there was any changes made to a booking, you'll see the date and the user who made that change. So this is important to see which staff might be making changes, or if a guest made a change and they couldn't remember that they had. Other options here, so if the guest wants a receipt or you want to print a receipt for this booking, you could do that. Sometimes guests get their email address wrong when they're creating a booking, so you might need to edit their guest information, put in a new email, and resend them their booking details. There's also cancel button, so if this guest calls and then they want to cancel, you can click the cancel button. Automatically your refund policy will be applied and any refund amount will be shown here. You do also have the option to skip the cancellation rules. So if you want to override your rules, you can do that as well, and we'll give them a full refund. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, guests can book, edit, and cancel themselves online. So this saves you a lot of time. A lot of people save a lot of time on calls by not having to answer those edit and cancellation calls, because guests will be able to do that themselves, and the rules that you set in the back end will be applied. So that's most things that you need to know about bookings. If you manage any seasonal bookings, so if you have people in there for the whole year, we do have a separate section with different rules where you can manage your seasonal bookings. So the difference between seasonal bookings is we allow you to set up different payment options for seasonals. Typically, this is a deposit that is due by a specific date with the remainder due on another date. In this scenario, guests will be able to log in and make bookings or make payments towards their booking at any given time between their deposit date and their final payment date. Guests can always log in and make payments if you are adding add-ons. So lots of seasonal guests maybe are being charged electrical charges every month. When you add that to their booking as an add-on, the guest will then be able to log in and make those payments as well. As you saw on the home page, you can manage events. So you can create events. There's lots of details you can add about events when you create them. Start and end time, start and end dates, location of the event or venue, the cost, and if you're going to be collecting registration fees for those events. If you have registrations, there will be a registrations tab here where you can find all the registrations and download that information for your use. This block site tab here gives you the ability to block a site off for maintenance or to create a hold for a group. So in a couple different scenarios might be there is a flood or something happened and you have some sites that are not bookable. You'll want to come in here and create a site block. You would just say, okay, these sites are no longer available and they're not going to be available for the rest of the week because there's a flood, maybe some trees down, and you can choose the sites that you're wanting to block or that were flood and create that block. They'll just make those sites unavailable for that date range. You can do the same thing for like a family reunion. So if you allow it, if someone calls in, says, hey, I need 5 campsites for this particular weekend for a family reunion. I don't have everybody's details yet, but can I create a hold? You can go in here, create a block for that group, and then as they call in or show up on your dashboard, you can open a block and convert it to a booking. So it deletes, in this scenario, it'll delete the block and automatically create a booking so that there's no kind of in between deleting the block and creating the booking. It just automatically happens there, and it's a quick process for you. So that's block sites. Under the users tab here is where, if you're an administrator, you'll be able to create user accounts, and your team can have as many accounts as you need. And there's different permission levels that can be set. An administrator is somebody who can do everything, and within the system, bookings, payments, guest information, as well as settings like setting up your season, pricing, site information, all of that. An employee user though is a somewhat restricted user. This is maybe a gate staff who could create bookings, manage guests, take payments, but don't have access to your settings, so they can't change your pricing and do more administration stuff. And then there's also accounting and read-only users that are kind of restricted level users as well, and what they can do in the system. There's a guest tab here. This will be a running list of all guests who've ever stayed at your campground. You can search guests by name, email, or phone number here. If you have a guest that you don't want to camp with you again, you can add them to a deny list, enter that reason, and then if they try to book with that email again, they will be prevented from booking. It'll just show nothing as available at your campground for them. We do also have a basic wait list, so if your campground is full and someone says, hey, contact me if something opens up, you can take their information, the dates they wanted to stay, the unit information, and then give them a call once something does open up. In the future, we are hoping to have automatic notifications for waitlists when there are cancellations. There is also a point of sale function within Let's Camp. This is where you can record sales outside of bookings. So in the back end of the system, you can create products, and then in here you can sell those products to guests. So if someone comes to the front gate, wants to buy 2 bags of ice, you can choose that product, enter the quantity. If you need to override the price, you have that option. Then you can enter a guest email. So if you want to email them a receipt, you can put that in. It'll also record it in the system under the guest profile, put in their name, notes, and create sale. These are non-required fields, so if you didn't want to collect that information, you don't have to. As soon as you can click create sale, it's going to take you to the payment page, and you can choose how they pay. So if they're just paying cash for their ice, you can choose that. If they have a credit card, you can fill that out here. But Let's Camp also has Stripe terminals. So our payment processor we use is Stripe. You have the ability to purchase a terminal so you can take in-person payments. If you had a Stripe terminal, you can choose that they're paying by terminal, choose whether they're paying debit or credit, and that payment will be automatically sent to the terminal for them to tap or insert their card, make that payment, and that payment will automatically be saved to that sale. You can also take those for in-person bookings. So if you're creating a booking for someone who just drove up, you can take payment with that in-person terminal machine. Next, here's just our reports tab. We have all kinds of reports that gives you all the data that you need from within our system. I'm not going to dive deep into this, but we have booking reports. This is kind of reports that you might want to run if you're doing like a revenue report at the end of the week or month to see how many bookings were created or how many bookings happened during a particular date range. Within our reports, you can choose, kind of any detail that you want to see. Break out taxes. Maybe you're running a GST report or a state tax report. And then in the report here, you can see all the different rows. And if there's a dollar value, it's always going to give you a total for the page or for the total for the whole report. Every report can be downloaded to Excel, so if you need to print it or further manipulate it, you'll have that ability. We also allow you to create a report template. So if you selected specific columns, you can come in here, create a report template, give it a name, click save, and then next time you come here, you can just quickly load that report and all of those columns will preload for you. So you're not having to reselect those each time. So it's kind of like a saved report. Transaction report, this one is used a lot. This is where you would run your reconciliations at the end of the day or the week, where you can filter by, like, I want to see all my cash payments, I want to see all my refunds, anything like that. You can run that here. Again, download, print. It's going to give you a breakdown of all the transactions and what makes up that transaction. So if you want to see if there was what the booking fee, what the taxes were, Um, if they've purchased any specific add-ons, you can choose those as columns, and get that breakdown of your transactions here. So product sales report, so just keeping track of all of those product sales. Booking fee report, this is just kind of how many booking fees were collected by us. And then a payout report. So we connect directly with the payment processor Stripe and pull in all the payment reports in here, so you're not having to log into the processor as well to get this details. So you can see all of your payouts from the processor here, and the transactions that are related to it. So really quick and easy for you to reconcile your um, deposits from your bank account here. Lastly is the settings tab here. This is only accessible by admin users, but this is where all the setup happens within the system. So as you can see, we've kind of broken down our settings into 4 sections: general settings, financial settings, site settings, rules, products, and fees. So the general settings section is kind of where you'd set up all of the initial profile information, nearby attractions. You can see your camp map here, set camp settings. Your camp settings are all of those email settings, whether or not you collect a deposit, your check-in and check-out times, kind of all those general settings that you have for your campground. Next is the financial settings section. So here, this is where you would set up your taxes, your price models. These are the different types of pricing that you might have for different types of sites. You can see we have 30 amp and 50 amp pricing, cabin, picnic, shelter. Again, this is our demo. We just have lots of things in here for demonstration purposes. Set up your seasons and pricing for your different seasons. So you can set up different pricing for different times of the year with Let's Camp. So you can see here we kind of have our main 2025 season. Within each season, you would set booking start dates and booking schedules. So you can actually set it up so your long-term people can start booking first. So lots of campgrounds who are busy will say everybody booking 30 nights or longer can book on this date, 14 nights can start on this date, or 1 night or more can start on that date. Just lets those long-term people book in first. With our promo codes, you can also set up early access codes. If you want to give a special group early access to booking, you can do that. And then you can see what add-ons are available during the season, what price models are available, and you can see we have nightly or daily rates, as well as you can set weekly, monthly, or seasonal rates within here as well. Under financial settings, we talked about promo codes a little bit, but we also have dynamic pricing. So this is an excellent module for you to be able to just make some extra money based on how busy your campground is. Highly recommend this for busy campgrounds to just make extra revenue. So lots of our top campgrounds will set up dynamic pricing based on occupancy. So you can say, once we're 80% full, just up all our prices by 10%. Once we're 90% full, maybe up it by 20%. This just allows you to optimize your revenue for all your sites. On the flip side, we can also set up a decrease in price. So if you were looking to fill maybe a slow period and you want to give a discount for Monday through Thursday, you can create dynamic pricing for a decrease of price during only specific days and maybe only specific types of sites. We do also allow you to, increase things by dollar amount or a percentage, and you can apply dynamic pricing just based on always, so over a specific date range or maybe days before check-in. So maybe the sooner or closer it is to the check-in date, you're gonna up the price by a little bit as well. So those are just ways that you can set up dynamic pricing. Next, we have our site setting. This is where you would set up all of your site information. So enter all your site details into the site, what services are on each site. You can group sites into different site types. These are kind of different categories of sites. So maybe 30 amp in water, 30 amp full service, 50 amp sites. Those might be site types. Or some campgrounds might have riverfront, or waterfront, and then treed areas. Those could be site types. And that just allows your guests to filter by those site types when they're booking, as well as you can filter on your dashboard and stuff like that for your campground. And the last section is our products, fees, and policies section. So here's where you would set up all of the products that you would have for sale in your point of sale, or you'd want to set up as an add-on. again, you can have a product that's just in your point of sale or a product that is available as an add-on. You'll have the option to set that up. The fee section, this is just where you can create fees that are available to guests. Maybe you charge a pet fee, extra guest fee over, say, 4 guests. Every extra guest might be $5 a night. Extra vehicle fee, so maybe 1 vehicle is included. Every extra vehicle is so much per night. Additional units on site. So if you have a fee for an extra tent on a site, you can set that up. And all these fees can be set for specific sites or pricing models. So you can set up very specific rules. And lastly, with fees, we do also have a site lock fee. So this has become popular over the last couple of years, where campgrounds are just asking campers to pay an extra fee if they want to lock in that site. If they don't want to lock in that site, they have campground has the ability to move them around to optimize their booking calendar for their season. But if they pay an extra fee, they'll lock in that site and are guaranteed that site. So just another way for you to make extra revenue within the system. Also back in the main menu here, I'd like to point out we do have a real excellent support site. So this site here just has videos and articles on how to do anything within our system. We're always updating and adding to this as we add new features. So this is a great place to learn more. It's also where you can submit a support ticket, learn about different marketing services that we have, and get our branding assets for building those marketing materials. And finally, when you get set up with Let's Camp, you get added to our campground marketplace. So at letscamp.ca, this is a place where campers come from all over the world basically to find camping across North America. So any campground that's using our software is listed on our map. As you can see here, we have campgrounds right across North America that we work with. So lots of campers come here to find and book their campsites. They can search for a specific location, so that if they're looking for something in your area, they'll be able to see you. Lots of other marketplaces charge a commission for this listing or an extra fee when the camper books. With Let's Camp, there is no fee to be on our marketplace. So that's it. That's how our software works. We'd really be happy to talk to you if you have any questions or would like to see a more detailed demonstration. Love to dig into this more with you. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.